Oh my God. What is that? Oh, you gotta hug her. You gotta hug her.
It's my new
Now
pet.
don't let it leak anything. No leaking
Stay,
of
stay put.
liquids.
Should be alright. Should be alright.
You okay?
Yeah,
You
I
survived
just
this time?
I seen the egg outside. I had to put my head in and see if there was something in it, man. I thought it was like an Easter egg or something. I don't know,
And it's so dark that you can't even see.
but I know, man. I almost stumbled in here and shit. Stumbled into the egg. Pretty much, that's what happened. That's gonna
You're
be my new
just like
pet.
one of those actors right there.
Yeah. They're always looking through my eggs and shit. It's like,
Throw yourself down.
oh yeah, if I get some indigestion, you'll know what's happening. You know what I'm saying? So I might cough up something a little bit, man.
Just go down. Just go down.
And it's not the spicy food I ate.
Ah,
Food ain't that
no
bad, is
spice.
it? Yeah, people. So we back, but this time it won't be for the whole podcast. We're doing what do you call it? A review after the movie review, as you called it last time. So after the movies, now we reviewing. So I'm your host, Art the Lunatic, and I'm over here with my cousin, aka co-host, aka Rob the Snob People.
What's
He's
up,
here to
people?
he's gonna give y'all his opinion, and I'm gonna give you my opinion. We'll chat about what we seen this past weekend.
So,
What
it's
did
been
you
a
think?
couple of days since I seen it. What
Yes.
did you think first?
Spoiler alert, people. You've been warned. I'll put it at the beginning of the review. So yeah, so this is based on the original Alien. Basically, it starts off with them, and then we're floating in space, and we're seeing wreckage of the Nostromo, which is the mining ship from the first Alien, right? And so you see a Weyland Yutani, like what do you call those things? Like I want to say recon, but I don't know if it's recon, but it's just a vessel that's looking for the alien, I guess, because they really wanted to get their hands on the Xenomorph. So
The research.
right for research, right?
Mhm.
And so they send them. We see a big ass meteor looking thing, and apparently the xenomorphs in it. And apparently, I guess they could cocoon themselves in space, which I didn't know was a thing. And then what I liked about that scene, though, I just want to mention this: the score that plays, and it's like this haunting, screaming kind of sound, and it kind of reminded me
Eerie.
of yeah, eerie. It's very eerie, and it reminded me of the score from 2001, Space Odyssey 2001. Remember when they
Mm,
found the
yeah.
yeah, when they're on the moon and they find
Mhm.
the what do you call that thing? That Megla thing, whatever. I don't know why I forgot the name of it. But yeah, they find that iPhone looking thing on the moon. And then yeah, and then that music plays, and it's just that's what it reminded me of. Nobody said anything. I've seen a lot of reviews and nobody's really mentioned that, but I thought it was interesting. So it was a cool little intro.
The intro
Mm.
was nice.
Yeah, I liked it,
That
man.
I like that that they're in a planet that they're mining. It's
Yeah,
all everybody's all a bunch of slaves
the
just
Waylands.
mining away. But you got no life.
No,
And like just chop away.
but nah, that's cool that they do that because they in the other previous movies, I think we only got one Alien movie where they kind of showed the colonizers, and it was an Alien 2 with Ripley. She went back to the planet where they found that first alien at, and they had a colon. They were already colonizing it, so Wayland already had people out there and everything. But yeah, I do like the world building that they did. You're right when they're on that planet and everything.
That I didn't really understand it very well. So I was like, okay, so they're slaves. They're just mining away. Give me a paycheck. And then you turns out that you can't even leave. So
No, that was fucked up that they couldn't even leave, and so they're desperate. That's how the crew ends up on board that
that ship,
Romulus ship. Yeah, that
yeah.
Romulus ship.
But so I was a little bit confused on the actor that was playing that robot. I
Oh,
thought that he was a disabled person.
oh, disabled. Oh, when it first, yeah, because that's how he acts, right? He acts like something's wrong with him.
Right. So I
Yeah,
was like, oh, why is she taking care of
yeah.
this kid or
Her surrogate
teenager?
brother.
It,
Yeah,
it turns out that it's a brother.
it's a
How?
surrogate brother. That's what they said. Her dad reprogrammed him to be a surrogate brother for him. Her, I
Was
mean.
that in the initial part or it was later on,
Yeah,
right?
I think they mentioned that later on. I
Yeah. So in
think.
the beginning, I was like,
Yeah. I
who is
just
this
kind of
guy?
knew already just because I had spoiled that part of myself through trailers and all that kind of shit. So I kind of put two and two, but he did act like he was very submissive, I guess you could say, because he was like they were picking on him and everything. And that especially that kid, the annoying British kid, the UK dude to talk with that Cockney accent and shit, like it's in the water. Yeah, that dude. He was talking mad shit to that android. But later on in the movie, you see he has a reason to though. That's kind of a justifiable reason, I guess you could say.
But he made up his reason for it. But I really thought that um, he was a disabled person.
But you know what? You must have not heard me because I told you on that trailer talk that he was a fucking synthetic.
I didn't listen to you.
Oh, see, that's the problem. You don't ever listen to me, man. See, people, this is what I gotta do. Non-listening, motherfucker.
Oh,
But nah,
okay.
but
Now
nah,
you're taking out the swords. Okay, I see.
touche.
Hmm.
Nah, but see, I told you ain't listen. But nah, he was an android. He was the only synthetic at first in the trailer. They didn't spoil the other part, but I see why. So that's why I was referring to Ash earlier when I started speaking on this because people, should I
Yeah,
get to that part yet or not?
go for it.
So basically, they're a bunch of kids from colonizers, right? And then they kind of group up and they kind of scheme a way to get on this whaling ship that they found a beacon to, I guess. That's how they found it. And so they went to go investigate and they figure they can get some good parts out of it before it crashes into the rings that are surrounding the planet, which, by the way, cool ass effects to those people, whoever made the VFX for that shit was dope as fuck. That was some true sci-fi shit. But yeah, so here's another thing I don't get though. So
What?
the kids knew about this shit, but Wayland didn't.
Yeah,
Weyland-Yutani, that does not make sense because that like you would think that ship was in contact with Weyland-Yutani the whole time because they had to tell them about the experiments,
they
right?
were supposedly abandoned.
Yeah, but that robot that was in it, which I'm about to get to, was in it,
It's
and he
like those YouTubers. They
nah,
go around and say, "Oh, look, I found this house. It's abandoned. It's
abandoned,
owned by somebody, dude. Come on. It's
right?
owned by somebody. You
Uh,
didn't find it.
those
You
fucking
trespass
urban
and all this
adventures.
urban adventures. I found it. No,
Yeah,
no, you
except but yeah,
didn't.
but the difference between that though is these kids were trying to get money on it because they were trying to salvage the shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're catalytic converter stealers now, huh?
They are. That's what they said. That's like, we're gonna go on there. We're gonna go steal. It's gonna be quick, 30 minutes. We're gonna go on board the
I
ship.
need that copper. Sell it for
That's basically
$20 a
what they're
pound.
doing. That's basically what they're doing, bro. They're pretty much doing a copper fucking raid and shit.
Let's steal these Hyundais. Come
And
on, let's
they
go.
and that girl, like, they get her on board because at first they lied to her. They make it seem like they need her, but they don't really need her. They need the android. But because he tags along with her everywhere. He's like a little puppy. He's like a little puppy dog to her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they know he's gonna tag along if she goes. So that's the only reason they really, because she apparently doesn't really have any skills, I guess. I don't know.
Well, she doesn't have any money. That's why she followed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She
But
didn't get paid, remember? Oh, I'm gonna stay here for a slave.
see, this makes more sense in Alien Isolation because in Alien Isolation, the character you're playing is an actual engineer and she knows how to do shit. So she has skills to help her survive when that station is going to hell. She at least knows some things like that's
So
part
you're
of the
saying
story.
that this girl is useless.
I'm saying this character should have been
It's
a little bit better.
useless.
But she was all right, man. She was like halfway through the movie, I started warming up to her when she
She
started,
got paid, man.
yeah,
She's not useless.
I guess so, man. But the other cast though weren't that memorable.
That they killed them off pretty quick.
Yeah, they killed them off. It's a small cast too, because it's only like what, 5 or 6 people.
Six. I think
Yeah.
six, right?
It's like you don't know this also because you didn't watch the first movie. But in the first movie there's another AI outside of the android guy, and it was the ship AI, and it was called Mother. And,
Yeah.
and you did see that in this one that they had the Mother thing come back. I think it was like Mother 9000 or some shit. So I thought that was cool that they brought that back.
T-1000.
The T-1000. That's another sci-fi movie. But yeah, I thought that was cool that they did a lot of callbacks. The only thing I didn't like though was all the fucking lines that they kept repeating from older movies, like "Get away from her, you bitch!" and
Well, the
shit like
references
that.
for the old movies was great. That's a nice homage that they did.
Not some of them felt out of place like that, like especially the one I just quoted because and the way it happens in the movie doesn't make sense. In Aliens, it made sense because she was talking to the queen alien, and she obviously it's a queen, so she's a female, and she was about to go kill the little girl or something, and that's when Ripley comes in that mech suit, and she says, "Get away from her, you bitch!" And I think she bitch slaps him or some shit. The queen, and that it made more sense. In this one, we don't really know if those are male or female aliens. You know what I mean? Like that's never
Yeah,
so
there were
it
many though.
yeah, there were many. So, and in this one, it was the android who said it, who
Mm,
says that line, but it doesn't, like I said, it just doesn't make sense to me. So, canonically, now he's the first one technically that says it before Ripley even says it and shit like that. There was one line I think I liked when they were like, when he's like, I prefer, when they call him a robot or something, and he's like, I prefer to be called synthetic or some shit like that.
yeah.
Because that's a line from Aliens when Bishop says it, which is
Mm,
I don't know if you've seen that one, but
no.
he's an android in that one. You'd like him. He's cool. But what else did you like about that? Once they get to the ship, what are your thoughts?
That was quick.
It was quick.
They got to the they left very quick, and I was like, wow, anybody can leave. You can just
Yeah,
go buy off a nice Ferrari, what's it called? Harvester, just leave the planet. But if you don't have the money for it,
yeah,
you
yeah. I
can't
heard
leave.
some. Yeah, that is weird. Like, whose ship was that, anyways? I thought like, did they steal it? I wasn't. I don't know. I was
I
kind of
loaned it to
tired when I
them.
was watching that. I was because I woke up early to watch that shit. Yeah, once they get to the ship, it starts kind of like you start noticing the acid. You know what I mean? Like they have the acid, like you could tell it burned through the hole and everything. And then they see one of them robots, bro. You see a robot, he's missing his torso and shit, like on the
Well, it
ground.
was before they got into the ship. I was like, okay, so they left so quick.
So
Like
quick, so
2 minutes.
fast.
Yeah, it just took 2 minutes, and they're
Hey,
out and out of space. Was cool is the harvester just went up.
right up. I liked how it went through the atmosphere though. That shit was
Yeah.
dope. Like
Hmm.
it was a visual treat, right? Like I
Yeah.
loved how that shit looked. So yeah, so they go up very
They go up,
rapidly.
and what was a little bit the planet and the size of that and all of that. I was like, okay, mm, could have used more scenes of outer space,
Yeah,
but you didn't. They immediately went into showing you the ship,
yeah.
the research ship, and they went in it really quick.
So
I'm
quick,
like,
so fast.
yeah. So is it really abandoned?
And it was right in their orbit too.
Right. You
You know
can't.
what I mean? Like
We're like, oh, just look up. It's right there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, so how does Wayland Yutani not know about that? You know what I mean? They had to have known, but why did they didn't send nobody? Like, I don't understand. And then these kids go, and then nobody notices them go.
And they have the coast to get in.
Yeah, well, that's why they needed the robot. That's why they wanted him on board because he remember they
Oh,
mentioned
yeah, that's true. He's
he's
a key.
yeah he's Wayland Yutani property, so he can get us in. But I thought it was cool though the way they showed everything up to that point though, like the
Hmm.
ship, that was cool. And once they get in there, you see a little bit of zero gravity and shit. They show like mouses, like rats, like lab rats float and
Yeah,
shit.
floating.
Yeah. And then you get a scene where they get the android. I guess he's supposed to open up some doors or something, and he has to crawl through like some vents.
Yeah.
That's also a
That's
nod to
crazy.
aliens.
It's like, how do they, if the robot was able, had the, if the robot was the key to open the door, why did they go in through the vent?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand. I think
That's stupid.
it was shoestringed in there to be a reference to aliens because in Aliens, there's a scene where the android has to get to another part of the terraforming plant that they're at, and so yeah, he's the only one that could do it though, not the other humans because he's an android and shit. He's not gonna get claustrophobic, so he's the only one that does it. He volunteers for it. And this one, it was you're right. I was actually confused because I said, didn't they come behind him too? Like they had,
Yeah.
like yeah, so it was everybody did it, and I was like, what the fuck? So that was weird, but
And why?
yeah, I
I
don't,
mean, just to put the claustrophobic
yeah, it was basically.
mindset. It was like,
Mhm. That's what I'm
waste
saying.
waste of screen time.
It was very shoehorned in for that exact reason, I think. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I guess that's another nod to aliens. But like I said, I think it was a little bit too many nods to aliens. I think that was my issue with some of the stuff in here. But
No, that's not an issue. That actually a nice homage to reference all the other movies.
yeah,
It's not everybody does that.
yeah, true. Well, lately they have though with all these remakes and shit and sequels.
Well, and then it goes into finding the eggs.
Does it? Like what point? Oh, they accidentally get trapped in that room with the fucking face huggers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but did they find? Cause I was gonna get to the Android part because I just wanted to get to that, but I don't remember
Oh,
if they
go.
find.
Yeah,
Did they
yeah, yeah.
find it first and then the egg thing happens? I only seen this movie
No,
once.
they went to the control room, and supposedly they're so stupid that they didn't pay attention that there was a big ass hole to the right hand side.
It was a cryo chamber too, bro. Like remember they have big ass
Like,
signs that say
I don't
cryo
get it.
chamber. They
I don't.
ignored a lot of the signs because
Right. This is
if I
like,
go in a place and it says like biohazard, let's not go in that room. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems obvious, bro.
but I didn't understand that. And then they get into a little high school fight. Ah, and then the android
Oh,
holds
it's
them
in
off from
regards to that.
falling off.
Oh
And
yeah, that
that's
was
where
funny
they.
because yeah, because the dude, the Cockney accent dude, was picking on the robot, and then
Mhm.
he was, I guess he backed up into a hole that was done by the acid, the alien acid, and they're in a room, and you could see that there's like a dead android or something laying,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, what happened here, you know? And then, but what was funny about that, because he almost fell, but the way it looks like the android was just being like, what the fuck you say to me? Like, that's what he looked. And old boy got scared, like, I was just playing. I was just
Yeah.
playing, mate. Yeah. And then he was like, you almost fell into the hole. And then he lets him go and shit. And then we discover your boy from the original movie in there, man.
Yeah. He's
Ash.
still there.
It
Ash
was
Ketchum.
that doesn't make sense to me either that they had the same model. This what don't make sense to me. So they had the same model of robot from the original Alien. But the thing about that was nobody on the original ship knew that he was a robot. And then so it's not like I don't think he was a mass-produced android that looked like him, you know what I mean? So I was confused. I was like, why would this ship have him? And he wasn't the same android though. He acted like him though, but he's he looked just like the actor. The actor's dead. He died in 220, so that's why I thought that was weird that they did that because
Mhm.
they did some CG and it was some parts were like it did look CG and then some parts it didn't. It's kind of like
Yeah.
it,
The CG, I was like, "Mm,
yeah, it looked uncanny valley territory, man. It was weird to look at, and it was just but that just it took me out the movie just 'cause I'm like, damn, they really did this like for fan service, but I wasn't feeling it because they could have got any fucking. And they could have got anybody to do that shit, dude. Like anybody could have been an android, you know what I'm saying? It would have been crazy if they would have had a David model that looked like Mike. That would have been crazy. And it
that
would
would
have
have been
been
interesting."
that yeah, that to me would have made more sense to be honest. You know what I'm saying?
What it would have been nice if they would have included both
Yeah. Which
this one and then David,
I'm
just to show off that they have the technology for it.
yeah. But yeah, so they find him and he tells them basically that they're kind of fucked. He tells them about the creature that's in there and all this other stuff, and basically he's saying that what Wayland's is trying to do this to better humanity, I guess.
But at this point, they already found those face huggers already, right?
Oh yeah, I think yeah,
Yeah,
because he was trying to help him. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, they came back to that room. Oh, okay. I forgot to mention this though. I'm talking about the good parts. Like
Oh, excuse me.
I did like the music though that plays. There was a lot of it. Kind of felt like those like 80s kind of movies.
Hmm.
Like when they were in space going to the shit. There was kind of like that music that's kind of like you're in awe, kind of like a Steven
Yeah,
Spielberg kind of movie. Like I love that. That was cool that they did that. And like you said about in regards to the girl, and but there was like their relationship. So I guess it's a movie that kind of has a little bit of heart because of their relationship with the robot. You know, he's kind of like their friends at first, I guess.
I
And then
I thought that she was treating him like a brother
at first, yeah, she was kind of. But then you
throughout
figure.
the whole thing.
But then remember they revealed some fucked up shit later on in the movie about that because she was like she did this supposedly because she wanted to go to that other planet or whatever. But the thing was, the dude, her boyfriend, I guess, is that dude was like, but they don't leave androids. they don't let androids let in here, so they would have
Yeah.
to scrap him and just get rid of him. And at one point, that's revealed to him. I thought that was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, that's fucked up. But I guess he forgave her at the end or something. I don't know.
The emotional part, I could care less.
Ooh, you cold blooded.
Well, the thing is, you seeing that these face huggers are really killing everybody, and you still act all dumb.
When did she act dumb though? What do you mean?
She wants to save people.
Oh, like that girl?
The guy too. This is like really. It's like they're gonna kill you. Oh, let me go back. Hey, come back.
I mean, I don't know. That's on all the movies though, because like even in the first one, Ripley goes back to save her cat at the end of the movie.
Save the cat.
You gotta save the cat, man.
But the other thing is, now this black goo, if you as a human drink it, you turn into a engineer.
Oh man, you spoiled it. You already getting to the third act, man. Because I was gonna give the
We're
praise.
already there.
All right, no, I've given a lot of praise to this movie, but this is one of the movie for me towards the middle is where it started to drag. Because I was actually yawning, believe it or not, and I don't know if that was because I was just tired or
No,
what, but I
there's
was.
some parts that it actually gets you tired.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. It was like after they saved that one pregnant girl. Because oh, spoiler alert, there's one of the girls is pregnant on here. That's a big plot point. And I knew it would be when she said, I'm pregnant. I was like, oh shit,
All those alien people should know what that means.
yeah, exactly. And so I was like, oh, something's gonna happen with her. And so yeah, so later on in the movie, we get to this point towards the end that at, at one point she injects herself with the black goo because it was told to her that it would save her, I guess.
Nobody told her that it would save her.
Somebody, but she somehow.
She her overheard that it would do that.
Oh, okay, she overheard because
Did?
yeah, because the synthetic dude was talking over the fucking. He took control of the system, and he was able to talk to them through monitors
Mm-hmm.
and shit. And he
Yeah.
was talking to her, and he was trying to get her to fucking do that because he knew what would happen, but she didn't. So he was lying to her and shit. And she kind of believed him, I guess, because he sounded like a good robot.
Mm-hmm.
And so yes, at one point but she was being told that she don't have to do that because all they got to do is freeze her. But she was like, "Fuck waiting," and injects
Yep.
herself. I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "This isn't gonna lead to anything good." And so we get this weird birth scene, right? This is the part that shocks everybody. This is what everybody's been talking about the third act of the movie. This is the part where it's like different in a way, I guess. But she ends up having this baby like egg thing come through. It's really gross, bloody and shit. And then it shows a face and you see a baby. It looks like a dead baby. And I was like, what the fuck? And it looked like an
Mm-hmm.
engineer at first. I was like, oh man, what the fuck are they gonna do? And so I forgot what happened later, but something happens, some action shit starts happening. They're trying to get away from us, and then this ugly ass thing that looks like I know you probably haven't seen it, but it looks like the alien baby thing from Alien Resurrection, which is the one I don't like. It's the
Oh,
least liked Alien movie, and then the thing that they had in Alien Resurrection, I didn't like that shit either. But it was supposed to be, I guess, a callback to Prometheus because it looked like the engineer. It was like a
it
ghostly pale
right.
white, you know what I mean? And had
But I
long
don't
ass
think that
legs.
the iron that's how the engineers were created. I don't think so.
What do you mean? Oh, no, I think what it was the goo contains elements of the DNA from the engineers, but it also contains DNA from the xenomorphs. So I guess it's somehow kind of reverse engineered itself, and it had so when that abomination is born, it has the face of the fucking engineers, but it has a tongue that sticks out like the
Right.
xenomorphs and shit. But
Mm-hmm.
it's horrible to look at. Yeah, the one scene I did like, and I know people have been talking about this one too, but it's when they're floating in zero space, zero gravity. I mean, and
Oh, that was stupid.
she no, but here, so if you shoot a xenomorph, he's gonna bleed out and create a hole. So her solution to that was turn off the gravity, then shoot the xenomorphs, and then but the problem is now their fucking acid is like
Everywhere.
floating, and you gotta fucking float through that shit and just fucking hope that shit don't hit you and shit. So that was a cool scene to look at though, you know what I'm saying, regardless of the logic behind it, you know what
If
I'm
it was like the Matrix, then it would have been really cool. Yep.
saying?
The camera did go like the Matrix.
Yeah. They
That
filmed
would
that
have been
shit.
cool.
That one wasn't CG. Like I seen behind the scenes footage and they were hanging on wires and shit. Like yeah,
Uh,
so they did it like that. I mean, I'm sure the fucking acid was CG, but as far as the actors floating, that was in camera.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't even green screen either. I looked at the they actually had the set and everything built.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it was really cool, man. So it ends really nicely too, the movie. Like it's like nicely wrapped up by the end.
Hmm.
Another thing I want to talk about, did you, because we are talking about the android, like I think my favorite character is the android. I knew he would be just from the trailers. He looked cool. He seemed cool to me. But what I did like about him is at first, like we mentioned earlier, he was submissive and he was very like, oh, like he wouldn't talk shit back or anything. But then at one point, the Wayland, the other android, the one that was fucked up,
I like the
Ash,
other.
Rook.
The, yep.
So he talks him into putting a chip.
Hmm.
And so when he does that, his whole personality changes. He
Yeah, he
stand
became
different.
cool.
Yeah, then that's when he does become cool and he starts doing all kind of shit. And he's like run
Yep.
when the face huggers and all that shit. And he's kind of cold too. Remember, he almost shut the door on him. I was like, oh shit, he's about to shut the door on him,
Yep.
bro. And but he's like, yeah, but did it shut? You know, it was like that meme, like remember the one from The Hangover? But did she
Yep.
die? You know what I mean? It was like that shit.
You're still alive.
Yeah, it was like that. So I thought that was cool to see, man. That was my favorite character in the movie, to be honest, because those other characters didn't really have much going on.
The main girl I didn't like.
She was all
Uh,
right
I mean, as an actor, she's good, but
as a character.
all as the character itself, like just huffing and puffing throughout the whole thing and being really stupid, go back to saving whatever friends she has, knowing that she's gonna die. That's quite stupid for me.
Yeah, I mean they were on a ship. There was the ship is we didn't mention this, but basically that ship it does have a time setting on where it's gonna fuck it because it's about to clash with those rings. And at first it's supposed to be 48 hours, but then I guess that was a
They extended it.
miscalculation. Yeah, there was a miscalculation. They're like, no, it's like 30 minutes from now. Like they sped it up. Like, oh shit, we gotta get off this thing. And so one of the last things that happened in the movie is them going through that asteroid thing, and that was some cool looking shit too.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
was cool.
yeah, like you said, the visuals and imagery that they show in this movie is pretty dope. I think Ridley Scott would be proud. You know what I mean? Because he's a visual
Mm.
director. I don't think though Fede Alvarez is that good at writing dialogue, and I think that's one of the problem. That's a problem with a lot of these characters and stuff in this movie because I think he wrote the script as well as directed it. But
Oh,
I think they should like get some writers so they don't have to quote lines from the old movies. They can just make up some new lines that are good and memorable. So anything else you got to say about this Remus and
no,
Romulus?
other than what we have discussed here, um, overall, for me, the movie it was good.
Yeah, it was cool.
Would I watch it again? Maybe,
I would.
but I would want to watch it on IMAX
Same.
just for the grandeur of it. But overall, I will watch it one more time,
One
but
more
for the
time.
IMAX,
I feel you. I want to
even
see
though
it
it's
one
not
more
gonna
time
be
too.
IMAX, but yeah.
I want to see it one more time too. I think, like I said, for the most part, I enjoyed it. I think it's probably the best Alien movie since Aliens. It would be probably rank up three, and I'm not counting
Mhm.
Prometheus and those are like separate because they're kind of a spin-off to me. So I don't really count those as for the original. I'm referring to the original
Yeah, yeah.
quadrilogy. So yeah, it's up there. This is number three. It's better than Resurrection and Alien Three for sure.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because Alien 3, like I said, is depressing, and Alien 4 is just weird. It's just like I don't know what the fuck was going on in that movie. It was written by Josh Whedon, actually. Did you know that shit? It was one of his first movies Josh Whedon did.
Wow.
Script for that, yeah, and it's bad. But shit, all right, people. This is it for this quick review. We just had to do it, and then we'll probably do a episode 3 though soon. You gonna be ready
Yeah,
for it?
can't wait for it.
I cannot wait. Hopefully get Eric on another review. Unfortunately, he had to go. He was out of town, going on vacation, so we couldn't get him for this review. But maybe we'll do another one. Who knows? We'll do another spoiler one with him.
No, the next.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't even give it a rating. My own thing.
Oh, jeez.
It's gonna be short and sweet. I think I already said it pretty much, man. Like how I feel about it. Like I said, I just feel like it's the third one. It's good, but it's not amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like Aliens is still better. Has more action. Has more iconic shit. James Cameron, he outdid himself in that one. The way he did, same way he did Terminator 2 is the same way he did Aliens. You know what I'm saying? It's like a better, crazier sequel. And then the first one. Although the first one's still one of my favorites too. So all right, brother. I'm stopping
All
this
right.
now.
Great.
Peace, people.